네, 다 오셨죠? 바쁘신데 와주셔서 대단히 감사합니다. Thank you for coming, teachers, residents, and professor and students. It's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. David McDuff. He is a great man. He is a mentor. He will be a mentor of mine. I think that. I think that he is the structured the first sports psychiatry in the United States. Actually, sports psychiatry or psychology are occupied and focused on just sports psychologist. The doctor was far from the sports part. The doctor just in sports as an audience or just a fan. But he changed the status of doctors. So because of that reason, I was so surprised when I received the email from David McDuff. So at first time I can't believe that he sent the email to me. This is not true. But anyway, we connected. Before coming here, we had some discussion about the 15-20 minutes. But I was so happy we have very similar parts in the ride. Now. I want to introduce David McDuff. He is now the professor of the Baltimore Maryland University. Yes, and most of all, you know the Baltimore Orioles. It is the Major League Baseball, pro baseball teams. He is the team doctor of Baltimore Orioles, and he is also the team doctor of Baltimore Ravens, the rival of New England Patriots, my love teams. Anyway, he is a great job in the United States, so he came here to introduce sports psychiatry in the United States. So let's meet Dr. David McDuff.
So excited to find Dr. Han on the internet, and this is my third time to come to Seoul and visit Korea. I trained in psychiatry in the military, so I've lived all over the world, but I've never come to Korea before 2013. So it's been a very good year for me. My informal name is Rob, call me Rob, call me Dr. McDuff, doesn't matter to me. In sports, work must be informal. You must be able to go up to a person and just have a conversation, just talk about life, family, food, music, and strike up a conversation, and then can change to something more serious. So today I want to tell you about my experiences in sports at the professional level, at college, university level, and then in youth sports at high competitive level in high school or club sports. Biggest sports in the United States, of course, are basketball, American football, and baseball. But soccer, your football, is also much more popular now than it was 10 years ago. So last year I decided to write a book. If you follow American football, you know that the players and owners had a fight and there was a lockout. So for 3 months, from January until March of 2011, there was no players allowed in the training facility. And so I locked myself in my office and wrote a book. every day for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, writing. So I finally finished and was published last year. Maybe Dr. Han can help translate into Korean. But here's what I want to do today. I want to tell you a little bit about how we are structured, who actually works in sports, how we operate, where we go to have our practices. So here's baseball team, Baltimore Orioles. They're having a very good season. Not as good as LG Twins, but still good, because we are in the same division as Yankees and Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays. So 4 teams have winning record above 500 out of 5 in one division. So it's very, very strong division. Here is Ray Lewis. Anyone know Ray Lewis? Famous American linebacker for Baltimore Ravens. So that's Baltimore Ravens logo. So here is my team. These are the people that I work with in the middle. Men and women, doctors and psychologists and psychiatric social workers and addiction specialists. So we are very different in our skills, and you can see one woman, Peggy, in the middle is a little older, but the younger athletes like to talk to her, so they go right up to her and ask her questions about life and parenting, and then she can be very helpful to them in sports performance. Bottom right, these are the most famous players for the Baltimore Orioles. They made it to Baseball Hall of Fame. So it's Jim Palmer, this famous pitcher. Then Frank Robinson, one of the first African-American baseball players to make it to Hall of Fame. Brooks Robinson, who was very famous third baseman for Baltimore Orioles. Earl Weaver, who was manager, who always got thrown out of games because he would kick the bases. And then Cal Ripken, who broke, I can't think of his name, broke the record for most consecutive games. And so this is Adam Jones, our all-star center fielder. So now we have very interesting manager and general manager who are very open to collaboration with Korean baseball. So Dr. Han and I are hoping something can happen with Orioles and LG Twins. So here is our baseball stadium. It's very beautiful. This is old warehouse built in 1900. It's right field. It's the longest building on the East Coast, and it's the back of the stadium. And if you are a left-handed hitter, like who is E for Samsung? Yeah, if you are a left-handed hitter, home run derby champ, you can hit it over wall and can hit buildings. But only 2 people have done that ever. Here is Ravens Football Training Center, built in 2007. It's like a castle, inside and outside, extremely beautiful. Here are the practice fields in the back. So this is where I go to work. I don't have players come to my office. I go to the training room at baseball, and I go to the training room in football. When I go to football games, I go as fan. I don't go to the locker room. This is a picture of me holding the Lombardi Trophy, which is Super Bowl trophy. This is Ravens logo. So the team actually put this out so anyone can hold it. And so I'm very happy to be able to have a picture with this after Maybe you don't know that the head coach of the Ravens is John Harbaugh. The head coach of San Francisco 49ers is Jim Harbaugh. They are brothers. So two brothers are coaches in Super Bowl game. So very unusual. So mother and father had very difficult time. They went to hotel and watched on TV. Could not sit on one side or the other. So here are the areas that I think a psychiatrist or a psychologist can have as a practice in sports. So must know a lot about stress control, just how to keep heart rate low, breathing slow, mind quiet, emotions controlled. Many sleep problems we encounter in sports because of travel in baseball. Here in Korea, it's not as big an issue in the United States, where you may go to 3 or 4 cities and go on airplane, go from East Coast to West Coast, play baseball game that night. And so you have jet lag, and plus the season is 162 games, longer than Korean season. So in August and September, players get very, very tired. And so start drinking more Korean coffee, and then can't sleep at night, or after game. All games are at night.
선수들하고 크라이시스 인터벤션도 하고 브리프 사이코세라피도 하고 롱터 사이코세라피도 하고 아까 했던 그런 슬라이드 쫙 다 하고요. 그 다음에 패밀리 케어링도 되게 많아요. 그러니까 가까워지니까 선수들하고 많이 가까워지니까 그 선수들의 가족들을 이제 믿을 만한 데가 여기밖에 없으니까 이제 쭉쭉 보내기 시작하고요. 그 중에서 이제 파트너, 왜냐하면 계속 떨어져 있으니까 파트너들 많이 보내고 부부들, 그 다음에 아이들 많이 보내고, 그 다음에 그 선수들한테 주로 많이 보이는 질환 중 하나가 ADHD, 슬립, 앵자이티 디스오더, 디프레션 이런 것들이 있는데, 오늘 강의 들은 것 중에 제가 마음에 되게 놓였던 것 중에 하나가, 실제로 선수들 보면 주의력격비과의 행동장애들이 많은데 이들 선수들한테 어떻게 이거 처치를 해주는데, 아직까지 우리나라는 in current case the methylphenidate is illegal drug in Korean baseball. Even though I suggested the doctor's suggestions, the KBL denied that suggestion.
What about atomoxetine?
No, of course not. Any medication is prohibited here. 그래서 어쨌든 그런 것들을 미국을 베이스로 해서 제가 다시 한번 선수들을 위해서 제안을 해볼 수 있는 좋은 기회가 된 것 같고요. 그 다음에 크로닉 페인 컨트롤 같은 경우도 제가 많이 하고 있는 것 중에 하나가, 이제 수술하고 난 다음에 공을 못 던지다가 갑자기 공을 잘 던지고 재활에 성공을 했다, 이런 선수들 보면 한 70%가 원래 저를 만났던 선수라고 생각하시면 돼요. 그래서 마법의 약이 한 번씩 있는데 그 무리과 약들이 굉장히 큰 역할들을 해요. 그 다음에 이 부분은 제가 이제 사실 여기 저희 파트너들이 많이 와 계신데, 저희 중앙대학교 체대 체육교육학과, 그 다음에 용인대 체육학과 이렇게 많이 와 계신데, 이게 다른 미국 스포츠 정신의학이나 다른 데서 잘 안 하는 것 중에 하나가 스포츠